Thank you for joining us for College Commons Week as we explore the next steps in the college admissions process. My name is Janine Coutu and I'm with the College Foundation of West Virginia. We are extremely excited to host our second annual College Commons Week event, an opportunity that allows us to work together with college campuses to help students navigate the college-going process. This evening, we are pleased to announce that a representative from Bethany College has joined us this evening for this webinar series. Joining us from Bethany College is Senior Enrollment Counselor Stephanie Bell. Thank you for joining CFWV for this new statewide initiative. Through this initiative, we aim to help West Virginia students and families prepare for and transition to college. As I get ready to turn the presentation over to our presenter, I ask that you use the chat box to ask any questions you may have throughout our time together this evening. Staff will address those questions and ensure that they are answered before we conclude today's webinar. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available on cfwv.com later this week. With that said, Stephanie, welcome, and now I turn this presentation over to you.
Wonderful, thank you. Let me get my screen pulled up here for you. Okay. Okay, perfect. I am seeing everything good on my screen, so I hope you are seeing our main page as well. Like Janine said, my name is Stephanie Bell. I am a senior enrollment counselor at Bethany College. I actually work with all of our prospective West Virginia students specifically. So I am your main point of contact in our office. So I am the one that has probably been emailing you, texting you, calling you all throughout the year, regardless of where you were at in the admission process. So it's nice to meet you guys this evening if I have not met you yet. I have a ton of information to help you with your transition from high school to college and just things that you can kind of expect. Some next steps, if you will. I would guess probably if you're watching this, you are probably someone who has already submitted your tuition deposit to attend Bethany in the fall, or you might be very, very close to making that deposit and just looking for some extra information about what's to come. So I hope to be able to answer everything that you are looking for this evening. And if I missed something, please feel free to put that in that chat box and I will make sure that we definitely cover it during our time together. Okay, so I listed everything, all this information for you this evening, pretty much in the order in which it will come and what you can expect next and when. So let's start with enrollment. So like I said, you have probably already submitted your tuition deposit, but just in case you have not quite done that yet, the tuition deposit at Bethany is $150. And that tuition deposit does two things for you. It saves your spot in the incoming class, and it also saves your spot for housing selection, which I'll talk in a lot more detail in just a few slides. When you're ready to submit that, you can do it right online on our website or in your acceptance letter that you received in the mail. There was a paper form in there as well that you're also more than welcome to fill that out and send that back in the mail. And that can work too as your deposit. The online way is super easy. It's super quick. It takes probably 2 minutes, maybe. It's very easy to submit. So I definitely suggest that one just because it is quicker. But either one works just fine. If you need any help getting that processed or anything, feel free, call me, text me, email me at any point in time, and I can absolutely help you get that submitted so that we can get you on your way. As soon as we have received your deposit, you will be encouraged to join our Class of 2025 Facebook group. There will be a link to it in the email that we send you with that information, or you can always just go on Facebook yourself and type in Bethany College Class of 2025. The group will pop right up. It is a private group. It is only for students who are deposited to attend Bethany next year. So that way, everyone that's in it, you can essentially think of, they are your future classmates. So they're going to be your future friends, the people that you live with, the people you go to class with. So that's why we do have it set as a closed group. If you don't happen to have Facebook yourself, but maybe a parent does or a relative, they are more than welcome to request to join that group for you, so that you still have access to see everything that's in it. So pretty easy to find, but again, if you have questions, just let me know. All right, so with financial aid, so that's important too. That kind of goes hand in hand with your enrollment and your deposit and everything. So by this point in the year, you probably have completed your FAFSA, but if you have not, you still have time to do that. I included our school code on the screen for you if you want to just copy that down or take a picture, whatever works best for you. Once we have received your FAFSA, that is what allows us to put your full financial aid package together. Your first scholarship that you would have received would have been your merit scholarship, and that scholarship was actually included in your acceptance letter. You probably had seen it, but I have had a few students who did not read the entire letter, so they did miss it, that they had received that. But it is in there, so double check if you aren't sure if you've received that yet. So your merit scholarship is based purely on your high school cumulative GPA. So the closer you are to that 4.0, the higher you'll be to the top of our merit scholarship amounts. And then, like I said, FAFSA pretty much makes up the rest of all of it with financial aid. So that'll show us any other type of federal grants, state grants, college grants, any type of loans, any type of work study that you may qualify for. And then we do accept most outside scholarships too. So I always tell students, if you receive something through your high school, through your community, wherever you're looking at scholarships, if you receive anything, let us know, because that can be applied to your financial aid award as well. If you have not received that award yet, I definitely suggest contact your enrollment counselor, who should be me. My guess is it's probably me. If you are watching this and you are from West Virginia, it's definitely me. But I can track that down and see what's going on. Occasionally, maybe we have something wrong from the FAFSA, or maybe we don't have your social security number. That's what we use to pull your FAFSA in and make sure we match it up with your correct application. So a lot of times if there's an issue, it has something to do with that, which is a super simple fix. But I am more than happy to help you figure out what's going on if you have not received that yet. So part of your financial aid includes some federal student loan options. If you qualify for either of these, there's a couple forms that you're going to have to complete in order to formally accept them. So I just wanted to make sure that we touched on that, because now is the time of the year where students are starting to complete these forms. So if you look at your financial aid award, you probably qualify for either one or both of these loans. They're called a subsidized loan, and the other one's called an unsubsidized loan. There's a little bit of a difference between the two, and it mostly just has to do with interest and how it accrues and accumulates. So whether you want to accept one of the loans or both of the loans, repayment starts 6 months after your college graduation, or if you would drop below half-time enrollment, it will start 6 months after that as well. But those two forms that need completed, one is called entrance counseling and one is called master promissory note. If you look at your financial aid award, the paper where everything's laid out for you, at the top, there's a small paragraph. And in that paragraph are instructions on how to access those forms, the website you need to go to, and then what the two forms are called. The entrance counseling takes about a half an hour. So it's a little bit lengthier, but when you have some time to sit down and do that one, you'll want to make sure you do that in one sitting. The other one doesn't take too long. It's only a couple minutes. But those forms are designed to educate you about what those student loans means, and the repayment terms and everything, just so you're aware of what you are borrowing to use. There is another loan on some students' financial aid awards. It's called a Parent Plus loan. This is completely optional if you are interested in using any of the loan money that you may qualify from this loan. It is a loan that would have to be taken out in your parent's name. It does require a separate application and a credit check. The one thing to note about these is that if your parent does apply for this loan and they get denied for any reason, then typically that does allow for an increase in about $4,000 to $5,000 of your student loans, which are the loans at the top of this screen. So sometimes students might need a little bit more money to cover their cost of attendance and They try for that Parent Plus loan option, and if that does not work out, that does allow for an increase in those student loans. So some of this stuff can be confusing. I completely understand that. If you have any questions at all, like I said, put them in the chat here or reach out to me privately. My contact information will be at the end of the presentation. So I am happy to help. All right, housing. This is typically important for a lot of students. If you have already submitted your tuition deposit, you should have received an email from me with a link to complete the new student housing form. I will typically send this to you within a day of receiving your tuition deposit. As soon as it processes and comes through to me, I send that email with that link directly back to you. So this is important because, you know, housing is important for students. Bethany is a residential campus, so just about all of our students do live on campus. And where you live, a lot of students, that's usually a big priority for them. Building and room assignments are made in accordance with the order in which the tuition deposits are received. So what that means is the date that you submitted your tuition deposit. Remember, I said it also locks you in the order for housing selection. That's what this means. So essentially, the earlier you sent your deposit in, the higher up you'll be on the list in the order for Sam to do your housing assignment, which basically means the more chance you'll have of getting your #1 preference in terms of residence hall. He is set to start working on those housing assignments within the next couple of weeks, and he should have them all completed by late May, maybe the first week of June at the absolute latest. And he will send your housing assignment to you via email. So definitely keep an eye on your email as stuff comes through from Bethany College, because towards the end of this month or the first week of June, you'll have your housing assignment sent to you. If you have not had the chance to tour campus and see the inside of our residence halls, our students did something pretty neat. They got together last summer and filmed like a walkthrough video tour so that prospective students could at least see the inside of all the different residence halls and what the rooms look like and stuff. So you can access that video on your own if you haven't seen it. If you just go to YouTube and you search this title right here, it will pull the video right up for you. Bethany College Residence Hall Tour. Just make sure you put the WV in parentheses in there so that it pulls up the right school, so that you're looking at the right video. But that way you can at least see the difference between all the residence halls and what those rooms look like, and that can help you make your list for your order preference for housing. Academics. Okay, so scheduling classes. This is something else that's usually really important to new students. The way we do it at Bethany is this. So within the next couple of weeks, our advisors will start to reach out to our new students to schedule a phone call, schedule a Zoom, whatever works better for you, where the two of you can sit down for a little bit and chat about what kind of classes you'd like to take in the fall. Your advisor, they'll use your high school transcript to see what kind of classes you've already taken. They will look at what you're interested in studying at Bethany. Whether that's something very specific that you have in mind, or if you're coming in as an undecided student, that's perfectly fine too. They will use that information to help you schedule your classes for that first semester. And they will take care of doing that for you. Once classes begin in August, you can add and drop classes through the first week. So just in case maybe you get in a class and you're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, or oh, I'd really rather take this class, you can make that change in the first week while you're on campus. Something that's super unique, I think, that Bethany does that I really haven't seen this too many other places has to do with our textbooks. That is something that is already included in your cost of attendance. So you do not have to pay out of pocket separately for any textbooks for your classes. And it's a super convenient option for our students as well. And you kind of see down here, this is the way it works. So your advisor is going to contact you, like we just said, and help you schedule your classes. Once they have that class schedule done for you, they send that schedule to the bookstore for you. And then the bookstore takes a look at it and they'll say, okay, you're in this class, this class, this class. So these are the textbooks that you're going to need. They will box all those books up for you. So on move-in day, You just have to drive past the front doors of the bookstore and open your trunk, open your side door, whatever is easier, and they will toss your books in your car for you, and then you just keep on moving. So they will have all those ready for you, so you do not have to worry about searching for books, finding them, paying for them out of your own pocket, anything like that. Our books, we do use a rental program for these books, so you are required to return them at the end of every semester, but you are more than welcome to highlight in them, to take notes in them, to use them, just as if you were had purchased that book yourself. So it's kind of nice. Sometimes you might luck out and you might get a book that the previous student had done a lot of highlighting for you. So you might have it on there to help you during your classes, but you will turn those back in at the end of the semester. If by chance you do find a book and you're like, wow, I really like this book, I think it's really going to be helpful for me to keep it, then you can just work with the bookstore and pay the difference to then officially own that book. And then you can keep it for as long as you would like. I wanted to put this in here too, because this is a very important, some very important information, I think, for incoming students to know. Academic support services. The woman you see in this picture here, this is Heather Taylor. She is the director of our McCann Learning Center, and she is wonderful. She oversees all the academic support services on our campus. So anything from tutoring to our writing center, to our math lab, our science lab, to our Rock the Books, which is an academic support service. She oversees all of that. So if you need help with anything at any point in time in any of your classes, this is the person to go see. I also included her phone number and her email on here as well, just in case you were interested in reaching out to her ahead of time. Heather also oversees all of our disability services. So if you have any type of an IEP 504 that you are interested in continuing the support services with it in college, you'll want to have a conversation with Heather, and she will give you all the information you need on how to essentially get all that rolling. Whatever documentation you need to turn in for her to get all that put together for you, whatever accommodations you're going to need, she is your go-to person. So she's a good person to reach out to. And the sooner you reach out to her, the better, just so that way everything is ready for you when you get to campus. Health and wellness. So in our Health and Wellness Center, we have 2 full-time nurses on our campus they're on campus Monday through Friday, all throughout the day. So in case you don't feel good, if you have a headache, you just need Advil, ibuprofen, something simple, you are more than welcome to pop in and see either of them. We also have some physicians that come to campus a couple days a week. So if you are sick and it's something you need to see a physician for, you don't necessarily have to worry about either, going all the way home wherever you're from to see your family doctor, or finding a doctor in the local area. You can come on one of those days. They'll make an appointment for you to see one of the physicians when they are on campus, which is super, super nice. We also have a college counselor on our campus who is always available to meet with students as well. So that is something that our students have really, really taken advantage over the last year, is being able to meet with her and discuss anything that is going on. Most of the services provided by these 3 departments on campus are provided completely free for our students. So it's nice to have something right there on campus if you need help with anything. Some important dates. Definitely take a picture of this screen, write these down, whatever's going to help you be able to remember them easier. We will also, from the enrollment office, we will send you information constantly about these dates as well. So we will be in touch, but I would really, really suggest writing these down right now. June 18th and July 23rd. Those are both Fridays. We'd have 2 options for summer orientation on either of those days. You do not have to attend both. Just one is perfectly fine. You'll want to sign up on the website. There's also a link when we send you that housing form, that same email, you will see another link in there for you to sign up for orientation. You can also access it directly from our website as well. So that's an opportunity to come to campus, get acclimated with the area, get acclimated with where classrooms are, where different faculty and staff have offices that you may need on campus. And then of course, to meet your fellow classmates and start making some friends and some connections before you even move in. There will be a third orientation option the day of move-in for students who maybe aren't able to travel to campus for one of those 2 dates during the summer. We do have quite a good number of students who come to Bethany from all over the country and all over the world. We have a bunch of international students that'll come every year. So we have that third date as a third option for those students who cannot travel to campus during the summer. But definitely if you can attend one of these 2 in June or July, I highly suggest it. August 19th is that new student move-in date. If you are a fall sport athlete, you will probably be moving in earlier than August 19th. Those dates are determined by sport individually, so you'll definitely want to touch base with your coach if they have not shared that information with you yet. As we get closer to summer and August, we will be sending out things like a packing list, a suggestion of what to bring to campus, what items you cannot bring to campus. Some of the residence halls on our campus are different, so you can bring some things in one that you cannot bring in another. So we will make sure that you're very aware of all of that information so you have plenty of time to prepare for that August 19th move-in date. And then August 23rd is the first day of class. So that'll kick off the new year. What else do I want to share with you from this screen? Slipped my mind. It'll come back to me maybe. But yes, so like I said, we will be in touch. We will share all of this information with you. We'll make sure that you are fully updated as that move-in date inches closer and closer throughout the summer. And just to wrap up, I have a short video. It's only about 2 minutes. This was just produced and published within the last week or so. And I think it's really perfect. And it's an important video for all of our incoming students to see. So I wanted to share it with you to wrap up today.
Student success is completely integrated into the experience here at Bethany on all levels. We put the student at the center of everything that we do. We really get to know the students individually, and so we're better able to really work with them and help them to identify their goals. We want to be able to meet each student where they're at. We like to put an emphasis on leadership here at Bethany. It's really important for us to be able to recognize the leadership potential within every student.
I'm not a captain, but just because you don't have the captain's armband doesn't mean you can't be a captain, can't be a leader on the field.
One of the things that I find rewarding is helping students to see the leader within themselves. Not every student sees that.
Being an RA has really taught me how to be responsible. You're kind of like someone for them to lean a shoulder on, you know? With anything, schoolwork, social life, things at home, you're just there to help them.
Internships are really valuable for student success. Employers are looking for experience. They're looking for something beyond the classroom and beyond the degree.
I'm excited to dip my toes in the water of my actual field. I'm going to work for the Woodard Cooper Company in Columbus, Ohio.
We work to connect students with internships. Our alumni often are folks that we turn to for connections.
Dr. Ramji, you mentioned that there was an internship and that I should get in touch with Amy Van Horn at the Career Center. She set me up with Mr. Woodda, which is a Bethany alum, and he got the ball rolling for my interview. He graduated with the same degree that I'm trying to pursue. Him saying, I will help you, I will mentor you, is huge.
So we are one of the few undergraduate institutions in the nation that still offers comprehensive exams.
What comps really is a test basically on your whole entire major, whole 4 years you've been here.
And it is their opportunity to really step forward and to demonstrate what it is that they've learned and what they know. And it's an amazing capstone experience for students.
I communicate much better than I ever did my freshman year. I can reach out to anybody and have an intellectual conversation and understand and comprehend and apply it.
That transformation is really remarkable, and it's one of the best celebrations of the year.
Perfect. Okay. And just to wrap it up, like I said, here's my contact information. This is my cell phone number kind of in the middle here. You are more than welcome to call me or text me, whatever you prefer is totally fine. My email is right below it. And then if you have not followed us on all of our social medias, here's all of our handles. And that's just another channel that we use to share any type of important upcoming information for students. And that's all I have. So thank you for joining. Let me get out of the screen share. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Is there anything that I missed or information that you are looking for?
So Stephanie, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, but I've heard a few questions that students have had throughout the day today. So I know one of the big questions that I've been hearing is, what does student parking look like on campus? Are students allowed to bring their car?
Okay, perfect. That's a very important question. So at Bethany, you are permitted to have a car on campus all 4 years, so including your freshman year. That is another item that is already built into your cost of attendance. So just like textbooks, your parking permit fee is the same way. So you do not have to pay for that separately out of pocket. If you choose not to bring a car for at all, or just one random semester or anything in between, there's a little form that you can just fill out that says, I'm not bringing a car, and they will then take that charge off of your bill. So you do not have to pay for it if you don't use it, but it is already built in case you are interested. The parking lots around campus, there is a ton of parking, but the parking lots are all designated for specific groups of people. So some you'll see, of course, are designated for faculty and staff. But then for students, there's a specific parking lot that is designated for freshman students, which kind of sits right in the middle of campus. So kind of right between the majority of the academic buildings and the majority of the residence halls. So it's actually kind of nice that you're right in the middle of everything. And then I always say the easiest way to kind of think about it is the closer you get towards your senior year, the closer your parking lot, designated parking lot for your class, will be to the entrance of your residence hall, if that makes any sense. But yes, you can have a car on campus for all 4 years.
Great. And I know your video touched on this a little bit, but what other opportunities are there at your institution for students to get involved outside of the classroom?
Sure. So outside of the classroom, we are a Division III athletics institution. So if you do play a sport, if you have talked to our coaches and you are planning to compete at the college level, there's plenty of opportunity there. If you're not necessarily planning to compete on one of our NCAA teams, we do have a lot of intramural athletics options. And in terms of other types of clubs and organizations, we have anything from social clubs, community service clubs, religious clubs, academic clubs, of course. So there's pretty much something for every student to get involved in. Student activities is huge on campus if you're interested in being a part of that. Student government, everything there is available. Within the first couple of weeks of class, Student Life does hold like an involvement fair where they will bring representatives from all of our clubs and organizations together, kind of like in a college fair setting, but it's all the clubs and organizations on campus. So you can kind of walk through, see everything that's there. You can sign up for anything you're interested in that day. There's no limit on the amount of things you can be involved in on campus. So I always tell students, the more the better. Obviously, you want to make sure you have time to sleep and do your homework and be prepared for classes, but the more you get involved outside of the classroom, the better your college education and your college experience will be.
And then another important question that we've heard is, how does a student identify their academic advisor? I know you mentioned that a little bit in your presentation, but
Sure. Yeah. So when you are first contacted by an advisor, that person is going to be there to help you do your classes for the first semester. And then once you get to campus and you're in your first semester, all of our new students participate in something called the Bethany First Year Experience. And that does include a seminar class that you'll take once a week. And your professor of that class will be your initial academic advisor. So that is your go-to person to help you with anything that you need about classes, changing classes, adding classes, dropping classes, planning classes for the next semester. They will help you with all of that. And then as soon as you formally declare your major, if you haven't had that done before you get to campus, as soon as you do that, the smart thing to do is then switch your advisor to somebody in that department. If you think about it, they will be a faculty member that teaches in that department, so they know exactly what you need to take for your major and when you need to take it in order to graduate comfortably in 4 years. So once you have that formal major declared, you'll want to switch it to someone in your department to guide you essentially the rest of the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Before I close, is there anything else you would like to add?
Let me think here. I think I pretty much touched base on everything. Like I've said kind of a few times, I am more than happy to help with absolutely anything that you need in your transition from high school to college. I always tell my students that, you know, even once you get to campus and you're moved in and you've started classes and you're fully, you know, on your own, if you need something and you don't know where to find it, come see me. You know, come back, come see me. I'm still going to be there. And I am more than happy to help you get to wherever you're trying to go on campus. So my involvement and my availability and my support does not change at all. You know, once you're through the enrollment process and once you're an official student on campus, I will always be there to help.
With that, we would like to thank Bethany College for joining the College Foundation of West Virginia during College Commons Week. Please be sure to reach out to Stephanie with any questions you may have, and thank you to those who have participated to join this webinar series. If we could be of any further assistance, please reach out to us at cfwv.com. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.